I'm happy that Ciga Design has finally sent me another watch after a longest while. I was really thinking that they have forgotten me or really did like my previous video, so they didn't send me watches anymore. But now that drought, that losing streak has ended because they've sent me their next Ciga Design, the Z Hunter series. And I'm telling you right now, it's one of the better looking Chinese watches out there, if only it was a little bit smaller. In our modern society, it seems cool to wear glasses that cover half your face, hoodies that swallow you whole, and sneakers that makes Ronald McDonald drool in envy. But when it comes to our watches, we don't want to give the impression that we raided our older brother's closet. That's what I feel when I see this Hunter C from Ziga. You can call it a complaint or even a slight to the design itself, but for me, it's because of the inadequacies of my so-called male physique or lack thereof that makes me feel that way. It's all good because I've repeated time and time again that I'm used to wearing G-Shocks and I wear my ignorance with my confidence without any remorse. All of that takes a back seat as my admiration for this watch takes center stage. Well, center wrist, if I may say. I'm really pushing through the threshold of accessibility here as the case lug distance almost surpasses my 6.25 inch wrist. Notice also how the bracelet wears a little too tight. This is because there were no half links on this watch and one extra link wore a little too loose for my liking. Operating this Ciga caliber is pretty easy. Just pull the crown and you're ready to set the time. There is no threading on this case, which sorta explains the 30-meter water resistance. The only other functionality that you can see in this watch are the quick release spring bars. That will let you swap bands with ease. Well, relatively. This hooded lug design though will limit some of your options as it's rather tight. That rules out some of the thicker straps and NATOs to pass through the spring bar opening. Another issue with this rather thin design, although it is a welcome feature for the profile, is that it's rather hard to get your fingers and nails to reach those spring bar levers. But once you get that off, most 22mm straps would be able to fit this watch. In this uninterrupted demonstration of installing a new strap, you can see in real time how long it would take to change the look of the Hunter Z. I used this really worn out Horween strap from Zelos to give this sophisticated looking skeletonized watch a warmer, more organic look. It's a sort of fun contradiction that appeals to certain demographics like lumberjack eco-warriors and creative accountants. At least with this strap, it feels a little more inviting and wears better on my wrist. The hint of color is a good direction for these straps as it has the opportunity to complement whatever's inside the dial, or at least what's left of it. This silk cloth strap from Artem will have a nice texture to support the surface variations of the Hunter, and the green color will pair nicely with all of the green colors of the dial. A thing to note is that you have to consider your buckle situation when wearing your watches. I know you guys check your buckle often enough so as not to embarrass yourselves, but what I'm talking about here is matching them with your case color. Here the mismatch is pretty obvious and it just pulls me out of the experience rather quickly. I do have straps that has the matching buckle and that really sets the things right as it becomes a stealthy personality that almost feels like a mechanical G-Shock. Or if you really reach for it, it looks a bit of an RM without the obnoxious behavior and overspending that comes with it. Notice here how this is actually a 20mm strap, but it fits well enough because the hooded lug design hides all of the gaps from the top of the watch. With the added texture of the strap, it now feels more rugged and tough, perfect for both patrolling the streets at night or lint rolling your couch before your afternoon siesta. There is an added protection against scratches with the use of DLC. It could have been a little less expensive with the use of PVD, but Ciga used DLC here which offers a deeper, more appealing black tone. So it feels pretty premium on the wrist and not on your wallet. Some of you had a little back and forth in the comment section of the unboxing video. Vin Louis Manigo says it's an ugly watch, pushing the boundaries, and it's another cheap copy of an RM. Theo Ori says, all I can pay attention to when I wear a watch like this is all the hair that I see. I can see that. See what I did there? NP officer remarks that he would imagine that it would be a pain to clean the dust between the gaps. And that I also agree. And finally, Mr. Leandro RJ says that he is actually considering buying this watch. And those commenting in the comment section that it's a copy of an RM should put some glasses on. Well, maybe I should put my glasses on too. Now let's examine the design a little closer to see how it manages this impression. One of the bigger features of this design is their skeletonized case. On one side, the angular protrusions extend significantly, acting like crown guards for the movement. Either side has these large cutouts to project a multi-component structure, even though it really is not. There's some neat details here, such as these custom Y screws. They have a shiny finish, so it adds a little bit of light play to the case. The sides also exhibit some subtle change in texture, as these facets are polished compared to the matte finish of the rest of the case. The butterfly clasp is also thankfully coated, and it closes neatly this very thin bracelet. It's rather comfortable to wear, but those links are a bit on the wide side, so sizing could be a challenge for some people. Speaking of sizing, you will have to contend with these old school pin and collar assembly. Ciga included in the package some tools for you to resize these yourself, but still a little harder to resize compared to screw pins. It's already a pain in the nether regions for you to lose any of these pins. Now you have to keep an eye also on these collars. So it's a sacrifice that we all need to make for a thinner bracelet. Ciga continues the visual impressions on the way the watch curves. The case does have the curves, but only on the top. On the bottom, it's still flat. This is unfortunately necessary because the movement is flat, and the only way to fit it on a curved enclosure, well, is flattening one side. Finally, the dial. This is what really endeared me to this watch. This is a beautiful movement that Ciga created. Knowing how expensive it is to develop and finish your own movement, we got the next best thing here with the Hunter Z. It's got all of the hallmarks of a luxury high-end movement. It's got the open balance, the very minimal anchoring for the movement, and the large gaping holes all around the dial. Of course, it's not a luxury high-end movement at all. It's really just dressed up to look like one, and very well executed at that. We can spot a few layers here, and Ciga made sure to finish them differently so everyone can take notice. On top of that, the top layer was CNC carved to create this beautiful polished chamfer that looks amazing when hit by light. If these portions were hand beveled, I guarantee you the plate alone would cost 5 times this watch easily. Another sneaky good detail is the barrel design. While many Swiss brands offer some custom carved barrels, here Ciga went the laser engraved route that's still very much welcomed by this designer. There will still be some questions about the legibility of the dial, but happily Ciga produced the hands in a polished finish to contrast against the mostly flat movement. There's also a hint of lume on the hands and quarter markers, but it's barely a mention nor functional. It's more of a good accent, really. Whether you're looking at the front or at the back, the watch looks dynamic and appealing. All these open spaces makes it really inviting to be examined closely. It's really very animated. Whenever you wind the caliber, you could easily see all of the gears moving. Very satisfying. Now listen here. Don't for a second think that this is an in-house movement. Yes, it's labeled CD07, but it sure looks like a Miyota 9000 series, but very heavily skeletonized. And that's still pretty great considering the price. Of all of Ciga's designs, this is my favorite, and will likely stay in my own collection for a while. If only it was smaller than it is, this would surely appeal to many more people. I mean, even if I get less open spaces on the case, at least it's not trying to devour my wrist. But the company knows what it's doing, and sure enough, these are already fully back from Indiegogo at the moment of this posting. There will surely be more iterations of these oversized contemporary watches, and if you're not careful, your big bro might raid your closet for it. That is the Ciga Design Z Hunter. It's an amazingly skeletonized watch. It's not only skeletonized dial, it's also a skeletonized case. It looks definitely unique, but I don't think that the skeletonized case was needed at all. But that dial is truly amazing. I like that it's multi-dimensional, multi-textured. They really outdid themselves here. And man, for $389, this is an amazing value. And the crispness of this of the details inside is truly amazing, guys. And I think they're playing out of their leagues here. It's tough to beat this, and not only that, it's also DLC coded. What more would you want? I actually was supposed to send this back, but I am pleading to Ciga Design to please let it stay with me. I'll do whatever it takes, or yeah, I don't know how much I'll have to pay, but this is something that I actually want to add to my collection. So I mean, suffice to say, it's a winner if I wanted to do that. Of course, even if so, I still recognize that it's a little chunky. The skeletonization on the case is irrelevant or unnecessary, but I'd still want to own it. Maybe the legibility is also a little bit of a problem there. But what do you think? Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Am I right to actually own this? Am I right to actually spend my actual hard-earned money? I don't really spend much on watches these days. I'm really too busy to to actually look for a piece in my collection. But this might be another one of those.